Yeah, a little bit. Like my dad's from the German side of where I have relatives also on the German side of the volcano. So on the other side.
Well,
I kind of knew them for a very long time before their loops happened, and then we went to music school, like several music schools together. Jonah and I went to three together, and Aaron and I and Jonah went to two of them together. So in the last one, it was like the Royal Academy of Music in Stockholm. It was just like that we got together to do a jam session, and then it was fun, so we kept doing it, and it was never really a plan with it or anything like that, but we just like kept kind of going, and eventually we recorded a video of Just Dance, and like that one kind of took off, and then we recorded some more, and like that's kind of how it's like been since then. So it's just like, yeah, we had a band for fun, recorded one video, and it went kind of well, and like, and then we kept doing it. So it was not really planned or anything, but it was fun. It's always been fun. Yeah, I do find it hard to like explain like what kind of genre we are.
Yeah.
And like I think we're like lumped in together with other bands that it's also hard to like tell what genre they are usually, but I don't know, like, yeah, but it's kind of like a mix of all of those things as you said. So, and yeah. A little bit, we have like our own influences, but I mean at the same time we have a lot of influences in common as well. So I think the jazz thing is it's just like something we all kind of, it's just stuff we listen to as kids that comes out in this. So yeah, I think it's, I don't know, we haven't really thought about it, but I think the harmony is also inspired from like choral works, because Jonah and I were like in choirs when we were kids, and I think like the voice leading is like a little bit from that thing as well, like to like, and then it's mixed with jazz vocabulary, I think. But it is a little bit like, it's, we never really took it, that dead serious anything. It has to be like fun, everything. I mean, like, like you want to execute it as good as possible, but it's still like you want to have fun with the music and do like stupid things. I mean, like, it's always been part of like the sound of the group, so it's never been anything that's been like really dead serious. Mostly it's like because we think it's fun, like that we want to do things that we think are funny, and like if other people like it, then that's awesome. It's different for different kinds of stuff, I think. Yeah, Aaron's like definitely with the practical jokes, like, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I think everybody brings a certain amount
it's a collective
to,
work.
yeah, it's a collective work, definitely. He still like directs the videos. Like, he doesn't film them anymore. Like, he filmed them together with Simon Petrén, who also like mixed our albums before. But now we have a dude named Mickey that does our videos. Like, he films them, but Aaron still cuts them, and so he's kind of like in a way director, I would say, still. So yeah, he's very involved in that. I'm actually like always been like kind of bad with, like, I curse at tech a lot, like when it doesn't do what I want, and I kind of like just learned the stuff to be able to like make it do what I want. But but other than that, like, I'm probably like, I don't really know how a compressor works, and like I'm horrible with a lot of the stuff, and I don't know like how things really work. It's just like I I do it like enough until I think it sounds good, and then I hit save, and then like I hope that it won't change. I make a backup, and like, yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at technically. And AI, like, people would want to like listen. I don't, might be wrong though. Like, you never know with the future, but I don't think people would want to listen to like a computer improvising a jazz gig. They're like, I think the human element, I think it's like with sports, like the thing where, you know, like the energy that something could go horribly wrong at any moment is still there, and that's kind of like a nice thing to like. I think it's hard. That part is hard to replace by a machine because it's, you know,
Yeah.
part of the thing with improvisation and seeing that live is, you know, like you don't know, like some nights will be really magical and really good and some will be really horrible, and you don't really know what you get when you go for it. So like in that way, I think like the improvisational part is good. uh, that was one of those things that we did. It was one of the last things we filmed. I was like, yeah, wouldn't that be fun? And then like it's so like horribly done. Also, it looks so bad. So it's just like me sitting on the floor, and then we like filled like a pair of like trousers with other clothes. And yeah, uh, it's like usually like when you go on stage, you're always happy. But I mean, like all of us are of course like cranky and, you know, petty and all of those things and envious of things. So like I mean, we have all of that as well. But it's like usually when you get to perform, all of us are happy because it's fun. So it's I don't know, like that's not something you should take for granted, that like that you could make a living like playing your original music in front of people. Like all of us are like very grateful for that. So but I mean, doing this, like, yeah, we're generally happy about it. So if you think about it this way, it's just like we wrote stuff that we thought was fun, and then like people came to see it. Like, and when people come to see, like, you want to like deliver as good as you can. Like some nights are gonna be better, some nights are gonna be worse, but like you will still try to like do it as good as possible, because it's like, yeah, I think for every like person in like that, you kind of owe that to the audience. It's like it's the same thing. Like if you fix someone's pipes, you don't do a half-ass job, so like that like they will have shit all over their house. So I think it's like the same thing. Like you prepare as well as possible, and sometimes you still screw up, and then you have to live with it. But like, you know, whoa, what's going on? Like this person actually know our band, and, you know, like it was like one of those moments. So it was cool. But yeah, but it's like once you've been through that, you know, like uh, that was the kind of the biggest acceleration from, you know, like that made the biggest impact. So like everything that happens after that is kind of like smaller, in it, you know, stepwise afterwards. So like I don't think I will never ever experience something like that in my life again. You know, like that thing where it went from like yeah, nobody knew about our music, and then you actually could talk to your heroes because they knew about our. That's like a weird thing to go through. Like it's a really cool thing to go through, but it's still weird. You know. It's just that thing, you know, like if somebody in 2010 would have said like, yeah, you would have done that, I was like, no, you're shitting me. So like I just like didn't visualize that, I think. But yeah, it was like, you know, that several people reached out, you know, like it's like, oh, this person reached out and this person you know, like, and then it's like, oh yeah, we probably did something that matters to, like, that had some kind of quality for people. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if it happened, like, yeah, but yeah, you kind of like, oh yeah, we have something to like move further with. Like we never thought about like, you know, doing original work, and it was our then manager Andreas Carlson who was like, yeah, you should write your own songs and do that. And I was like, you really think that? Like, yeah. So it was basically when we worked with him, then we kind of like it started getting more serious, and we were like working on the album, and then it became more of a full-time job doing this. So and yeah, you know, like, and then it's in periods now. Sometimes we focus more on this, and sometimes everybody focus on a little bit of something else. And, you know, I think we found like a good balance with everything now, so that it's always fun when we work on this. So like I think all of us were like still professionals, but, you know, like that we had to like, I did like gigs playing ballads for elderly swimmers, you know, before that. So like, maybe I wouldn't have done that, you know. Now maybe though, like it's still like a fun thing. I'm glad I did it. okay, the Beaver Eagle. But the Beaver Eagle is just like because we did a North America tour, and it was like the American Eagle and the Canadian Beaver, and we never saw them combined, so we thought like they needed to be combined. And then it's like, then we have Beagle is like this dog, but it's like if you combine the words, so like, yeah. It was fun. I think it turned out for the worst. Like, I think the best work we always did was when we didn't care about that at all and just did it for us. I somehow, like, I might be wrong, like, people probably know this better, but I really do believe like the product is the most important, you know, like if you have an album that you're proud of and that you believe in, like even though if you fail it with it or whatever, like if it doesn't reach anyone, it doesn't really matter. You still did it for you, and it's still like something you're proud of. And I think that's the most important. And I think a lot of people kind of miss that when they like, yeah, I want to target this thing or this thing, and like, oh yeah, we should also have written some songs. And like, if the songs suck, like you won't get anywhere, I think. I do believe like I think there's like I do believe like in strong songs, you know, albums that has like a song that even if it's just one song or something, you know, like that's important, I think. That was my idea. Like I write most of the credits, and it's just, yeah, you just add stupid names that does stupid things to the credits. Like it's fun. No, no. Like I can say like simple play. Like my French is horrible. Like I only speak bad English and bad Swedish. So, but yeah, still not great. Like I'm not great at writing in Swedish or like in English. I wish I. That's like one of the things I wish I knew more. Like it would be nice to be able to express yourself better. But yeah, maybe maybe it will come someday.
You're talking with the
Yeah, I want to be able to express myself better there also. But yeah,
it's also that the issue.
yeah. I mean, like with everything, I think that's like the goal, right?
Right.
To be able to like get your ideas across the most. But yeah, it's good to have a huge vocabulary then. Like even if it's in music or like in language. I wish I knew more languages also. Like I think you would like get things better if you could read them the way it was intended in the original language. But I'm too lazy. Yeah, I mean, like, absolutely. I think that's like, you know, kind of like your responsibility. I had a teacher, you know, as that with me when I was a kid, like, that spent a lot of time teaching me. But I don't know, like, when I have lessons with people, I like to have like one long lesson where I kind of can teach them everything. Like, this is the way I practice, and it's just like teach people concepts, and then they could do whatever they want with them, and then they could go to someone else, or, you know. But that's kind of like what he did with me, even though he took a lot of time. But he taught me like concepts of how to practice and shape differently. People like to practice in different ways, and you need to find the way that works for you.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like the, you know, stuff that goes on online where people is like, yeah, this is the way to do it, because I really don't think there ever has been like that. I think if you listen to all the greats, they had some things are in common, absolutely, but they still had very different ways of approaching things. And I think it's important for people to find their own ways, and, you know, like basically learn concepts from a lot of different people, and then find whatever works for them. And like, oh yeah, I like this part of what you teach me, and then I discard this thing that could work very well for someone else. But, you know, like to have that kind of approach with learning. And also like your way, like some people are super organized and like to do everything on a schedule, and some people are like chaotic and just want to practice whenever they feel like it, but could do that for a very long time, even though it's like, oh yeah, I got sidetracked and went into this. And, you know, like all of that is okay as long as it's, you know, beneficial for you. But it's yeah, you just gotta kind of like learn how to be honest with yourself, with what you suck at, and try to work on that at some point as well. I think the three of us have had very different ways of practicing. It's I think Aaron practiced way more, you know, like determined and on a schedule, and I learned a lot from that with him. But I'm just, I never worked in that way. I always been like spurs of energy and more chaotic when I did it. But and you know, some people have transcribed a lot of people as well. I always been too lazy. I didn't think it was fun, so it ended up with me like whenever I had to do that, it ended up with me practicing less. And it's not that I'm saying like transcription is really good for people, and if you're into it, you should definitely do it, and it's like a great tool to learn vocabulary. But that would have made me practice less. So that's like the reason why I haven't done that, you know. And it would probably have been more beneficial for me if I did. But yeah, so it's like it's stuff like that, you know, like just find your own way of doing things. To do it on their own terms, like because I do believe like if you're gonna have like success for yourself, also like it should be like your own vision, like what they want to become, and not someone else's vision, and they shouldn't you know be shaped into something that someone else decided for them, and or like tell them how to do things. I think it's like kind of important to like always be a little bit rebellious of what other people say you should do. So that would be my advice. Like you could still like be like that and still listen to your teachers though, like but if your teachers has like some things that you don't agree with at all, then probably it isn't for you. But then there are other things that are like uncomfortable to hear. But the uncomfortable things could be like good for your growth. But I mean, it would be cool to play with Stevie Wonder or something like that. Like, you know, like if you could dream like really big, but yeah, Stevie would be super cool. Like, he's been a super, like, it's very obvious also that it's been like a super big inspiration on the band. So, yeah, that would be cool. Uh, I don't know, like in the beginning, it really made me nervous, you know, like when you got compared to your heroes, and it's like, you know, that was kind of like, you know, I felt anxious about it, definitely. Like, for a long time, you know, like the first years, it was more like I was just nervous about like not playing the wrong note instead of really enjoying being up on stage. But I don't know, something happened after the pandemic when I was isolated, so like I stopped caring that much about you know like if I made a mistake or something. So I have been able to enjoy the live gigs much more after that. But and now it's like yeah, it's super nice, you know, like if you get recognized by people that you look up to, like of course that's amazing. But I think I pay less attention to it now than I did when I was younger.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, good luck with everything. I hope everything's good, Archibus. Good.